So over to you, Mr. Haneeth.
Okay, so you waiting for me. Hi everyone, glad to meet you all. Hi Dr. Prerna, hi
Hello,
Sadhana.
dear.
Hello. Hello,
Pleasure is
Mr.
all ours also.
Sure. So I guess we can start and other people can join in, right?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. So I'll give you a bit of context about ourselves and what we are trying to do. So I am one of the founders of Rabbit AI and an IIT Delhi alum. Started with the AI space much before AI was a hype, right? And basically, we started Rabbit AI, and now it's a London headquartered company backed by big tech players like Nvidia, Meta, Microsoft. And what we have been doing is we started with the mission of helping people own their data, own their AI. That's what we said, that with large language models, you're not owning your data, you're not owning your AI. And our proposition was that with small language models, the models which can work inside your device, inside your premise, you can actually have full control of your data and full control of your AI. And sovereign institutes, sovereign nations can only be built on top of owning stuff, right? So Rabbit AI, and Rabbit then stands for small language models, right? Unlike Lion, which is a large language model, and then which can be safe to use as well. Responsible AI, safe AI, aligned AI. These has been the missions. We are a unicorn right now, right? We've got a chance to work with various governments across the world, starting with the government of Oman, where we work with on national skilling strategy, specifically AI, government of Australia, New South Wales, and a couple of universities in US and India. And what we've been essentially doing is helping them implement AI using our specialized models and leading these discussions of how AI can actually benefit the students, how AI can improve the learning efficacy, and the entire education and skilling process. So these have been my passion areas for the past decade and a half. I've been working in this space. I've also founded other companies, and like I have totally founded 5 companies, sold 1 company, and running these 4 companies, right now. And the one of the missions which we wanted to, uh, yeah. So one of the missions which we wanted to start with was, at least in the AI world, bring together people who can talk about real problems, real solutions. There could be a peer-to-peer learning enabled. So with that series, we started, I guess, few months back, we started with this series of future ready universities. We've had various sessions in Delhi, Bangalore, Sydney, and a couple of other places, by combining all the university practitioners, leaders, academicians, admin leaders to come and discuss about what is the ground truth, how AI can actually help, or what are the things which we need to be cautious about. So these are all practical insights, and for the benefit of the audiences and the fellow learners, fellow practitioners in the same space, we keep these live stream and recorded on Rabbit AI, as well as we're doing this in partnership with the AI World Organization, which is a global Europe-based organization of AI leaders promoting AI for good. So that's the context on behalf of Rabbit AI and the AI World Organization. I welcome you all. So before we move forward, I'll just request Dr. Prerna, Satna, if you can also give your quick intros, and then we can move towards the agenda and discussion.
Thank you for the invitation. And this is interesting, of course. And I'm the Associate Director Admissions Outreach at Flame University. I think Ms. Harj just yesterday, I was in conversation with her. So I've been with Flame since inception, since the idea of Flame was conceived. So Flame is 19 years old now, and I've completed 18 years at Flame University, working in various admission processes. 18 years ago, we didn't have that much technology. And then we moved on to online, students come to a center and take an online test. And then the personal interviews happen in person. And then, of course, the COVID happened, and then we moved completely, online, in the sense that test is conducted online from their homes. They don't come to a center. And then the interviews also happen online. So there is no, and I think it's been so gradual and so seamless that we sometimes forget. I think nowadays these online interview rooms are so virtual that you forget that you are actually not in front of the person. Like, you know, it's become the way of life because classes happen online, everything has moved online, and it's working very well for us. I think I think Flame has done an extremely good job of our admission processes. I mean, since we're talking about admissions, I'm sticking to that part of it because other things are of not much interest in this meeting. Well, we don't have any, I mean, we have a very good CRM system now. We have big teams handling that. Yes, but then, you know, now, and we are aware of, we are bringing in AI in wherever we can now. We have also brought in, actually, I should say. So for my little understanding of what you're doing, I've done a little reading this morning before I mean, I had little time to, you know, read up about what you all are doing. And I think you're with Masters Union and Chitkara University right now. And you've started with them this year to August 2025 is my understanding. And you've been in this for admissions and all this in India, at least. I mean, you're UK based, correct me if I'm wrong, and 23 is when you all started. Yes, and then I agree that CRM systems work very well, but I also agree with what you're saying that for interviews, sorry, just give me a second, please. It's an important. I'm so sorry about this. This call was supposed to happen earlier and it's coming. I mean, I think on a Saturday, people are not keeping up to appointments. Yeah. So, so what I'm saying is I agree with what you're saying. The CRM systems work very well, and it is very, I mean, the old model of working on Excel and all that is very, very difficult now. And with the numbers, huge application numbers that we are handling, it does become difficult. Yet you need so many humans to be doing the job is, you know, like, and there could be a human error in the sense that person to person, there could be, the experiences can be different. So when we bring in AI, that is the kind, what you're talking about, I would say agentic AI into it, it would streamline many things, and that's one thing, and then the speed with which we can work, that's the main thing, is my understanding, because the time that, I mean, people get absolutely tired following up on, it's not necessarily only the interviews, of course, I think it's quite easy to do that, but even the nudges, you know, application nudges that we need to do, even for that, maybe we can use this very well, is the beginning. But some concerns, and you know, we'd like to understand more about, you know, the accuracy, the speed, the volumes that it can handle, then how fast are the responses, like is it within a few you know, because students will just, if you don't respond immediately, then students move away from, you know, they're not going to be waiting for a response. So that, and then sometimes AI can give a, you know, the error factor, which we have to look at, and all these are my concerns. Yes, I mean, like, yeah.
Okay,
so
I guess thanks.
But we are looking at
Karna,
doing something like this. Yeah. Thank you.
So thanks a lot for setting the context, and I must say, very good research skills, very good detective skills, and you figured out what we do, and I guess that's very commendable. So yeah, just to correct that, yes, we work with Masters Union, Chitkara, and a couple of others. Those are the published ones, but we work with more than 25-30 universities in India. And 2023, Rabbit started, but I've also been running another company called Tech Curator since 2015, both in India and US. Rabbit started UK. But yeah, thanks a lot for setting the context. I guess a lot of things you mentioned are very relevant. And these are the exact things we're going to be discussing today, that what works, what does not work, right? Even with other industry leaders and practitioners over here. And I'll move to maybe, Dr. Prerna to give a context, and then, we'll move to some questions. So Mr. Balraj has joined. Welcome, sir. So we just started. We were going through quick round of introductions, and I'll come to you, and then we'll set the context for you, and then we'll move to the few questions and few discussions which we have planned for all of us. Yeah.
Sorry for delay.
Prerna,
There was
over
an
to you.
inspection. I'm so sorry. There was a delay because I had an inspection. I'm so sorry for that, for joining late.
No worries. No worries. We understand. Yeah. Dr. Prerna, we can start with you. Yes. You're on mute, ma'am.
Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Prerna Saluja, and I'm presently serving Gita Institute of Law as a Director Training and Admissions. And I'm presently working with this group since last more than 11 years, and looking after admission as a core since last 23 years. And my background is management. I'm a professor in management otherwise, but somehow added responsibilities had become more relevant along with academics. So looking after this changing paradigm, and I strongly agree to Sadhana ma'am, very rightly said that post-COVID and during COVID, the whole scenario has given a new insights to the world. And we ourselves also have started looking things on hybrid mode, more of on online platform. So many problem and prospects we have got out of it. But the present need, I believe, in this admissions thing is of how to manage scale, how to manage speed, how to manage students' expectation at large. And admission today is no longer administrative processes. It is more of experience-driven, more of data-driven, and time-sensitive processes, what I believe. And students behave more now as an informed consumer, like not usually earlier students used to be a passive kind of applicants, but now they are more informed. So the challenges which lies with every institution, I believe, is explosion in application volumes. So how to scale up those. Then moving further is expectation of instant responses. Speed is a problem. And moving further, personalized communication demand is huge expectation of every parent and student. So how to create that experiential platform with the students while using technological AI platforms for ease is a challenge. And at our institute, we are also having our own learning system, that is eFlow, and CRM we are using is NPF with us, no paper forms. And we are trying to move to batch processing in a real-time admission system in our campus. And we are also working to apply predictive analysis to make things more forecast-oriented. And also we are trying to segment students on merit basis, on price sensitivity basis, and on career focus basis. So some kind of categorization we are trying to experiment. And I believe institutions that treat admission like a customer journey are able not just to do the form filling exercise, but rather they are the ones who are winning today. So with these lines, I would say it's a great initiative of Rabbit AI to connect, to discuss, to brainstorm the current issues, and to handhold if required, and how to convert inquiry into enrollments, into conversions is a challenge and a key point with all. So I wish we all are looking at each other for such insights. And that is all as a opening remarks from my side. And thank you, everyone. And I extend my greetings to all other panelists for being here along with us. So let us network, let us join and collaborate to come up with the solutions which we all are looking forward. Thank you so much.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you, Dr. Prerna. I guess you spoke very well, specifically all the things which can be done in the entire admission journey to make the student journey smoother, to make the college admin process smoother, and even make a right fitment. I guess one of the important points you mentioned is, see, with AI coming in, can we really match students to the courses which are of their choice, which are the ones which can build their career, and not just, kind of pull in here and there, or just, match just basis few rubrics or a peer pressure or a societal pressure. And this is also another point which we will want to discuss. I'll double click on this when I come to you for the next question, that the predictive analysis and student journey, and basically figuring out how to map certain students to certain courses, and basically AI powered counseling, if you're doing something on that sort. And what is the success, what is the ratio we understand. See, so I was the other day I was talking to a lot of couple of foreign universities who are entering India, and when their campuses in the UK region. So when we spoke of admissions over there, their biggest problem is how do we screen effectively, right? They don't have a problem of getting numbers. At least at their HQs, they don't have that problem, and their problem is humongous applications. How do we screen the essays, the SOPs, the authenticity, verification of documents, and all other admin processes, and where AI can be used over there. But when we come to this part of the world, I guess the largest thing is also because we have a huge population and we have a huge number of universities and colleges springing up as well. So how do we choose the right people, and how do we attract the right people? I guess that also becomes an admissions department problem in the country if we talk of, right? So I guess we can talk of all these three parts. Number one, how to attract the talent using AI and admissions. I put that in one bucket. We can speak about that, few strategies where AI can really make a difference. Second is, how do we engage them through the entire journey, right? The entire process of admissions, from getting to know about a university, a course, to finally going through the journey in a very, very efficient manner, smooth manner, smooth for the student, smooth for the college, smooth for the parent. That could be second category. How do we engage? And I believe third category should be that how do we basically assess them and find a fitment, or how do we analyze them, their application, their scholarship, their courses, and their entire journey from there onwards. And I believe after that it gets passed to other teams. But if I divide three buckets, very important for anybody who's leading admissions, in our philosophy, it will be attract, right, and then engage, and then assess, right, and of course convert as the final layer, where you onboard and stuff like that, which can also be part of the journey. So we'll go very specifically in all of these parts, and we'll seek your insights or problems in these areas. And having said that, as I said in the very beginning, Mr. Balraj, I was saying this, when we started in AI, right, almost a decade back, so nobody was naming AI. So I'm an IDLE alum, and we started in AI, much before AI was a hype. And that time, nobody was, AI was not this popular, but we were using a lot of it to actually automate processes, create efficiencies in the system. And when we started Rabbit AI, so this is what we kind of gave the statement. So if you have heard of this poem called Water, Water Everywhere, all the boards did shrink, water, water everywhere, nor a drop to drink, which signifies that, in the middle of an ocean, a sailor was stuck, but still don't even having an access to even a single drop of water when the guy is thirsty. So we said in the AI industry also, specifically, it's AI everywhere. Where are all the perks? AI everywhere. Show me an AI that works. So the hype, the LinkedIn, the gurus, what they are saying versus what is actually on the ground, I guess it's a very different story. And that's what we want to understand from you as well. What is the ground your introduction, of course, sir, and then what is the ground reality? What are the current challenges with entire, this process and AI, what's working, what's not working. Over to you, Mr. Balraj.
Thank you. Once again, I apologize for joining late. So we have a different kind of setup. It's a girls-only university, and that too in a remote area. So when it comes to girls-only university, we have different sort of challenges. Obviously, the number is I think increasing the number of admissions is again a challenge here. It's a different kind of setup, and that too in a remote area of district Sirmaur. It is the backward area of Himachal Pradesh, district Sirmaur. And the population density in this region is very, very less. So we have to engage larger demographies for getting admissions, whether it's through digital platforms or whether we are doing with a traditional marketing system, going to schools and counseling and all. So my challenge is, if you talk about being an admission director at a university, is different from any other university which has a decent, package for marketing and all. Prior to that, I was with Lovely Professional University. At that time, because when the owner is in the driving seat for placements and admission, you don't have to worry about the budget. But here, we have very, very limited resources in terms of the budget for marketing and all. So we are working with very limited resources in terms of financial thing. Apart from this, there are two aspects. One is the students who are approaching us, and then we need a process which can be automated, wherein the students are registering on our portal through ERP, and then our team assists them how to finish the admission process online. The challenge where I'm facing as admission director is generating leads, I would say. So we are using Google AdWords and other platforms like Meta and all to generate leads. So even I'm looking for a system wherein, because we have over 130 CBSE schools as well, known as a Call Academy, if you know about Baru Sahib a bit. So we have our own 130 schools, and every year around 3,000 students, they clear their 10+2 examinations and then they join us. So we were actually looking for a system wherein the retargeting can be done through various channels using WhatsApp Business API or maybe email marketing. So not only for making the admission process simpler, we are also looking for some specialization or some program or some IT feature wherein, or AI, you can say, wherein these lead generation campaign can be run through automation by sending bulk messages, WhatsApp messages, retargeting emails to the target audience. And so because numbers, again, as I said in the beginning, is a challenge for us. So not only we are looking for a solution through AI wherein we can streamline our existing admission processes, but on top of that, I'm also looking for a solution wherein the students can be reached out through the automation or AI, wherein the limited manpower or the manual thing is required, because I don't have a very aggressive team of 10 to 15 members in my admission team. We are running this team with just 5 members. And though the moment I have joined this university, we are growing like anything. Every year we are increasing the number of admissions. But still, there is a lot of scope wherein we are looking forward to a system where this retargeting and lead generation and handling of the calls and sending messages through retargeting can be done through any AI model which you have. I don't know you have planned this or not, but this is what my thing to say here. We are looking forward to these kind of AI automation kind of where we can target the target audience in the best possible way.
Very interesting. And I guess that's a real problem. We definitely have something like that. Maybe after this panel will connect and will show you this thing. But I guess that's a very right thing to target, because I guess a lot of these processes, I look at AI as 2 things, automation and intelligence, right? A and I. One, it can automate a lot of processes which earlier you need to send, plan, this thing. And this, even with our models, with our integration with Claude and all, we have all this WhatsApp business integration where you can, target, retarget, engage in a very personalized manner, and not just a standard spam text which people ignore, but more of interesting text and sequence of text which can go to students and parents and the target audience, and all that is tracked in a dashboard. And even the voice calls, right, which feel like very human, and it feels like as if a human is appreciating them, right? If, let's say, one example I give to you, which we have implemented in one of the universities, they have also their partner schools. So all the people in their schools in 9 to 12 class who achieve a victory in any of the external competitions, let's say a coding competition, quiz competition, or any of such thing, that's on the dashboard from the university side, they automatically get a call and congratulatory message, and then an invite to come to the university for their, felicitation ceremony, which happens every 3 months. So something of this sort is entirely automated, with people not even realizing after talking to maybe 30 seconds, 40 seconds to that bot that it was a human or an AI. Because today it's a possibility. Even you can clone voices, even you can be very efficient in terms of personalizing the messages to people, and also knowing when to reach out to someone. If Harneet is a morning person, maybe call Harneet at 11. But if, let's say, Balraj is an evening person, call Balraj at 6 or text him at 6. So these kind of messages, that when do you reply, when do you see message, when do you engage with a particular post, even the timing, the context, the messages, everything can be optimized with AI. And I guess these are one of the powers of AI. Second interesting thing, just to add to your this thing, I guess what we have seen. So your university, of course, I am aware of that. I guess a couple of other universities we work with, they are trying to, they're doing this summer schools and winter schools and these kind of immersion programs where they call people from schools, specifically 11, 12, and also 9, 10th, and do some live hands-on stuff inside the university. It could be an AI workshop, it could be a tour, it could be something of that sort, where it is entertainment plus education. And I guess that leaves a very, very good impact in terms of word of mouth marketing, value addition to the student community and stuff like that. So I believe these kind of strategies bundled with automation can really, really go a long way. So yeah, so happy to discuss about this in detail and happy to showcase few things to you. So moving forward, I will just quickly add to the agenda. So basically, the things, the first thing is how to, let me ask you the first question, where to start, right? Everybody, when they look for AI implementation, I guess there are 2-3 problems which comes everywhere. One is, I believe, is the data problem. Second is the cost problem, and third is the compliance problem. So if we quickly talk one by one, how do you approach, let's say for your organization or for largely any organization, how are you currently dealing with the siloed data, if that's a problem in the university scenario, number one. Second is the cost problem, and third is the compliance problem. And in compliance, I'll also say the adoption problem. Like you as a leader can buy a solution, can build a solution, can promote a solution, but it's the end user who have to use that in your team, in your university, to make it really, really successful. And you also have to make it all the stakeholders buy in. So can we discuss few things about that? And I guess these are the real practical things. The data problem, the cost and estimation problem, because AI cost can shoot up basis usages and all that stuff as well. So we have to be very, very in the seat to control, to optimize. And then third is a compliance and usage, compliance and adoption problem. So if any of you have faced those problems, and if yes, how do you navigate that? So maybe I can go to, Ms. Satna for this.
Yeah. Okay. See, the one problem that we face, we are not having that much of data problem. I mean, data problem does exist because sometimes, you have students who are on, who register on your portal and don't give the correct data. So you don't have the correct contact details and all of this. But over the years, I mean, this has not become an issue for us because it's been a long time since we've got connect with the schools and all that, and then we can go back and check out and all of this. One area where I would primarily be interested is in the interview part of it. The interviews, what happens is we need to have faculty are busy. they have classes to take, and then the term exams, and there's just so many things that they need to do. Now, students are in school. I mean, because our admissions are over by the time they graduate, by the time they complete grade 12, right? So, which means they are in class, they are in school Monday to Friday. And so we get the weekends basically, or we'll have to work late evenings. So we are looking at how we can, if we can automate that part of it, which should be very easy for you to develop for us. I don't think that should be a challenge for you to do. And we could also, I was thinking, I mean, I'm not a technical person, but I'm just, from my experience, I'm saying, so we can have AI plus human, somewhere before we just move to AI completely. So if the interview part is taken up, because suppose I give an appointment to a student, say to join in at 12 noon, for instance, like today. Now, if the first student or whoever is joining comes in even a few minutes late, the second student is waiting in the waiting room, and then it continues. It becomes a big circle. Right. And then we are doing so many parallel sessions because the numbers are huge. So if this gets done, like, if, for instance, this can work 24, like, a student can maybe find it more comfortable to take the take the interview at, say, 9 p.m., as you rightly mentioned in your conversation also. I mean, like, whereas to have a panel, to set up a panel at 9 p.m. with no guarantee of whether the student will join the interview, like, people can just decide not to join that day, and then they send a mail, or they contact us 1 hour before the interview saying I'm caught up with something, or they ask for reschedule. Then we are not able to reschedule because of the numbers. Then we say you have to come for the next cycle. We have several admission cycles, right? I mean, you've seen, I'm sure you've gone through our website, and I don't have to explain so many things. So you know that we have several cycles. So we have to push them to the next cycle. And then the parent feels, because we are also, as what Dr. Prerna was saying, and Dr. Balraj was speaking. See, you need to give every student a very good experience of the admission process. Now, sometimes they could think that, oh, these people are so busy that they can't reschedule within the next 24 hours, but it's impossible for us to do that.
Right.
You got what I'm saying? So that part would save us a lot of time, and it would also save us a lot of financially also, I think we would be able to benefit hugely.
Yes.
And of course, I mean, maybe if we have, do some immediate drastic change, instead of that, we have AI and the human there.
Yes.
And then within a few minutes, we are able to complete the cycle, is what I feel. Now, another area where I feel we can work is, I use that word also. See, a student comes in, let's say 10%. I'm just giving you ad hoc, percentage figures. And then when they fill up some part of on the portal, then they move to 20, whatever, 30. And then often you see that at 60%, they get stuck, because then they're thinking whether I should do, not do all of this. But then there is some little amount of nudge. I mean, we don't do that much because of the numbers, like, I mean, it's okay, like, it's moving. So we leave them behind. But then, a little bit, so that work can be automated to some extent.
Right.
Right? To a large extent. And as a human, you're bored of saying the same thing again and again. Like, okay, you want to give a quality experience, but then, if I have to be talking to, say, 50 people, following up 50 people for admission, at the end of the day, I mean, it's a human thing that I'm tired, and okay, I'll say whatever, and then, I mean, not everybody would be as committed. Or your quality of work may differ from day 1 to day 2, or if you're doing it in the morning when you're at your best, or when you're working at, say, because students apply from different regions, different nationalities, everywhere. So the call could be at 1 a.m. And so at that time, you just want to end the call, and you don't want to chat for 15 minutes with the student, right? Whereas, so if we can have something, these messages can keep going to the students. So all of this thing can be, though we do lot of messaging work and all of this, bulk messaging, all of this, it's not sufficient.
True.
Neither does it give the experience that you want to give them.
True. And that's very right. I guess very, very interesting points. And whatever you said, so one of it we already implemented, for one of the larger edtechs in India, in Noida, right? So they do a lot of, they had 400 people, telecallers, who were calling everyone for online MBA, offline MBA, and other programs, right? In one of the universities in Noida. And there 400 people who were calling in day out, and they had targets of making 40 calls a day and all that stuff. A big BPO. And that's not how education should be run. And these guys are also switching jobs within 6 months, the scenario, but the shop is running. And when I met the CEO, right, so we had a talk. He said, I really want to have better jobs for these people, and I really want to have better revenue, right? So how can you help? And I guess the very, very first thing is the first level of conversation can really be done by today's smarter AI models, and recording all that data as a transcript in a smart dashboard which can be assessed, and then a handoff can be gone to human, right? If I am talking to 40 people in a day, it's better as a human I talk to 7, 8 very motivated people who have really good queries, and separate queries. Someone is asking about, let's say, a computer science AIML course to me. Somebody's asking about the hostel facilities. Somebody's asking about safety of girls in my university and stuff like that. All these things need to be answered. A lot of it can be done by AI with a trigger and handoff to the human person. And eventually, I guess that becomes becomes a useful thing. Second thing, I'll tell you, very interesting or very impactful case study which we've done last year, that's also public, with the IP University. So I met Honorable Vice Chancellor, and he again listened to our talk, and he said, let's do a pilot, right? He said, Guru Ki University, you come here and you do stuff, right? They have Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University. They have 130 affiliated colleges in Delhi. And being a state university, of course, a legacy university, so not very technologically savvy that time, but people were very progressive. So one thing they said, Harneet, we want to build a chatbot, multilingual chatbot on the site, and then tomorrow voicebot as well, which tells everything related to admission, counseling, new circulars, notices to students, because when counseling happens, people come to the campus, and people are coming from Jharkhand, Ranchi, a lot of other places, and they are staying in Delhi, Dwarka region for 2 days, 1 day, right? And then they are visiting the university in 9 to 5 office hours. They have limited people in the admissions team, right? They staff some extra people as well, but then people are queuing up just to ask a simple thing that my daughter got a 70 percentile. Will they be eligible, right? My son played for hockey in Delhi. My son is an army brat, so will he be eligible for this scholarship or that scholarship? So very, very basic queries, but their parents used to travel, their guardians used to travel. And most of the people who are going there are not also very from economically well-off backgrounds. So they really can't charge the students for all this. So Vice Chancellor and us, we discussed, and they said, why can't we build at least this thing where my team is not occupied, my team is not burdened, but every student query is answered, and they really don't need to travel to university to, complete their counseling, to complete their queries and stuff like that. And we only pass the relevant calls to the help desk. So in the last admission session, we handled more than 1 million queries every single day, because so many people are asking so many things. And the biggest challenge was also this thing that all the university circulars and official documentation comes in a notice, and then it gets printed, not always in the best quality, and then it gets scanned and uploaded on the university website. And we had to create an AI which can do OCR very accurately, understand tables, and give right information, because there are a lot of fake sites as well, which spring up in admission areas, and specifically for government universities and other universities which are really sought after. There are a lot of fake news and fake headlines which come up, and we really had to fight the wrong information, fake information, give right information. That was a good challenge, but doing that, I guess, gives us a confidence that a lot of this automation for the benefit of students, for the benefit of university, is very, very possible and is the need of the hour. And the last thing is, I guess, one of my first bosses told me what matters is, as an organization, every touch point matters, right? Whether you are interviewing hundreds of people for your university, each one of you, you might not end up giving admission to all of them, right? But how you touch them, how your representatives speak to them in the entire process, the kindness, the value addition, the way interview was conducted, I guess that remains with them for lifetime. And today you see even social media is very prevalent. If somebody faces a bad process somewhere, they'll also put it on LinkedIn. If somebody faces a good process somewhere, they'll also put it on LinkedIn. So it's a positive and negative amplification channel for all the brands, including education brands. As you're saying, if education institutes treat this like a customer journey, they can really do good for the students. That mindset, because then students are coming there to get the best service, get the best ROI, and we as the academicians or service providers are at their service. So I believe fundamentals are same. We still need to serve the student in the best possible manner. But the ways and technologies and means and cost of doing that has come down. Possibilities are huge. And the universities of tomorrow will be the ones which can imagine this, implement this, and probably, shake hands make the AI shake hands with their processes. So, but very, very valid points. Happy to discuss at length and happy to build this as well.
One, I just sorry to come in between. Just that I have one concern is, of course, see, all this is fine. Of course, with AI also we can build it into the the emotional part of it. See, we are like, if you're looking at UG admission, okay, MBA admissions is different because the person is much older. These are, when you're looking at grade 12 high school students, they're young minds, and we need to handle this, at least at Flame. I mean, there's a huge ethics level involved in this, like in the sense that, we generally don't influence a student because it's always both ways. Whether in as much as we are looking at students who are the right fit for us, they also should look at universities which are the right fit for them. So all this can be built in much better, because as you rightly said, say I recruit somebody from some other university where this has not been the culture. It depends on, like every, because when it's very target driven, sometimes the pressure on the person, on the employee to stay on in the job becomes so much that the way they speak also changes. So that can be, I can be peaceful that my team is talking, everybody in the team is saying the same thing, and the culture of the university and the philosophy of the university is not getting, that is one thing. But only one thing that's bothering me, and I may be totally wrong on this, is about data breach. Is my concern.
Data breach?
In terms of systems. I mean, like, everybody's waiting for student data. And the systems have to be so secure that there will be no data breach. That's the only concern matter.
Right. So I guess that's a very valid point. And if I tell you our research or our take on this, so as systems evolve, cybersecurity threats evolve, some of the AI models are not very secure. So all those things, and this is what this is an experimentation phase, or rather last 2 years were experimentation phase for the entire AI systems industry, and people have discovered various ways. But what I can say is a lot of vulnerabilities which are there. That's why I believe in controlled AI and small AI. Sadhna, one of my philosophy was, because if you are using a very large language model and they can do anything, if possibilities are huge, vulnerabilities are also huge. But if I limit a system, so at Rabbit AI, we work with smaller language models which work on device, on premise. So what that means is, if my model is trained to talk about admissions process, right, and about your university, like we train for IP University and all, so then it is only knowing about that. It is not allowed to go to any other website. It is not allowed to answer any other question. And so we have controlled it. So what that means is, it may say no to you for 10 things, but whatever it says is very accurate, scientific, validated, grounded in source. And this kind of training is where people like us come into the picture, where we use AI only when required and create an entire software system around our processes, our philosophies, and use AI whenever required in a very guardrailed and controlled manner, input guardrails, output guardrails. And same thing, so we work with defense, we work with healthcare organizations. Their data breach is even a bigger problem, right? So, and that's a very valid point. So, because wrongly prompting the systems, getting non-confidential information, agent making a wrong decision. So if I tell you Clavio is a company in the US, so they started giving their agents full power to give discounts to students and all that stuff, and then it went gaga gaga over the entire internet. They rolled back that feature. So people tried. I guess we have learned from the mistakes of the entire world and the successes of the entire world. That's how, I guess, in AI, it's very brutally competitive. You really have to be learning from everyone and introducing very controlled features. So control and compliance is the key, right? If you are only doing very limited things, and it's an explainable AI, so you understand that it is not going anywhere, it is only relying on this. I'm using intelligence in a very, very controlled manner. So I hope that answers your question. Perfect. So I guess I'll go to Dr. Prerna to take your views and plus double down on the predictive analytics. And if we shift the gears, so Ms. Sadhana shared her views, I guess, in a very, very detailed manner on how the entire process and what kind of systems can be built for tomorrow. And now when you say, Dr. Prerna, if I ask you from the assess part, how do you really actually, when you're talking of predictive analytics and mapping students to universities and deciding a fit and all that stuff. So what is your vision or your experience or your thought process, if you can elaborate on that? And then maybe we can have a discussion on that, that how do you really use systems and processes and technology to assess the entire layer of applications and volumes of applications and make it a very, very right process with your experience. Sorry, ma'am, you're on mute.
Yes. I think speed is a new scholarship. Whoever respond faster often considered better, right? And I believe we all are getting input, means our students who want experience like Amazon, who want customization like Netflix, and who want communication the very moment they poke. If they have a doubt at 9:30 in the night, so they want the response at the same time. They want systems to support them like anything. So that's the biggest challenge of mindset, I believe, more than admissions. Once the admission is done, how they are taking up the discipline and policies of a system, and all analysis, predictive analysis failed at times, because the way this Gen Z is going, like they are not consistent on their decisions. A day they are making decision, the next day they are having another options. They are having even different interest. They are not able to identify their passion rightly. So I believe we need to re-engineer once what we doing as a part of counseling in schools after class 9th, 10th. I think there is a strong need of such inputs and awareness from class 6th or 7th in the schools, so that all these predictions can work accurately. It is all random decision. It is more of rat race. It is more of friends going to X platform, so we all need to go there without making any logical analysis. They are good on those platforms. They are really carrying a passion for the same kind of course, same kind of specialization. So there is so much of mismatch that technology alone cannot come up with the solution. There is a strong need of creative collaboration between human element and the technology part. So in our system, we are using dashboards, pivot tables, and all for all such analysis of our data on daily basis, on real-time analysis basis, after nurturing the data through superbots, chatbots, trying to figure out, segment the data, identifying the warm, hot leads, and then strategizing them, because we are still in the phase where we have to build up our brand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in those cases, our strategy is a bit different, like how to identify a particular segment which is most productive for us, and to that productive segment, how to target our product, how to position our product in their minds, that they can come up with the consistency, which is the biggest challenge. They are not consistent of their decision till the day they join the system. So that's the biggest challenge, I believe. And the numbers is not the fact, and it's not the correct numbers, because
Yeah.
our background, our databases showcase so much of numbers. But
Hmm.
when it comes to the conversion part and finally enrollment part, again, there is so much of unpredicted stats. So there is a strong need of static websites. There is strong need of no long confused portals are required. Rather, real-time support systems which are able to handhold to answer. So chatbots which can help 24/7 for the query handling part is the need of the system. And mobile first application portals are required, where, because students now, they are least interested to go to their laptops for their research. And I believe more of requirement of personalized dashboards which can track the status, documents, deadlines. I think more of video based engagement, if
Right.
possible, can be created for a system like ours. Can, because every institution is having a different journey,
Yeah.
and there is a need of personalized solution for every setup. So looking into my organization and my present research and witnessing of opportunities and challenges and threats, I believe we need to work on the biggest part is the mindset of youngsters. Very unpredictable and very uncertain. So all system fails at time. So there is a need of, again, a trained set of mentors who can
Yes.
help them at least to figure out what is right, how it is right, how their passion can be converted into profession.
Right.
There is a need of such inputs also, and I think there is a strong need of a solution from class 6, 7 to gear up, to engage, to create awareness, and finally land them up after class 12th in a decision which they themselves feel like, yes. For example, students who are targeting JEE
Mhm.
as their career, they are very much pretty aware. The system is already set up that they have to start their journey from class 8.
Mhm.
And from class 6, 7, they are keenly aware that my journey is not like other students. Somewhere for NEET also, the ecosystem is developed.
Mhm.
So tier 1 platforms is okay. But what about tier 2 and tier 3 kind of setups, which are getting inputs of those confused mind, where they themselves are not clear what to do,
Right.
even after doing class 12th exams. So I think these are the pointers I
These
wish.
are the major chunk of population which we need to handle and develop as a
Yes.
nation, because see, top 10% in any country, in any institution are self-driven, right? They will figure out their way whether the system helps or not. The remaining, the bottom 80%, 90%, the middle 80%, the bottom 10% are the ones which require most attention of the policymakers, of the institutions, and of the system, right? So very well said, Dr. Prerna. And this reminds me of fact. So what you are saying is the need for having a personalized touch and all. So I was there at a conference, and we got a very interesting insight. You were discussing this in IIT only, and the insight which came out of this discussion was that this entire AI world is like the transition from horses to a wheel is invented, right? So earlier everything was going on horses, and people who are skilled horse riders, they are valued in the system. They can fight wars, they can, do stuff for the nation, and they are the ones who are most valued. Now, what is happening is AI has come, and AI is like a wheel, and people are not really putting first principles. They like, okay, we want to make our horse wheel powered. We want to make our software or our system AI powered. So just with the knack of it, there are people. So imagine an analogy where somebody is sitting on a horse and they hold one wheel in their hand, and then they say, "Okay, we are AI powered." And then if you have more mandate, more budgets, more pressure, you could take another wheel in your another hand and still running on the same horse, right? And just burdening the horse as well as disutilizing the wheel. I guess that's largely the industry's area. If without consciousness, without strategy, people are applying technology or software, it's like, are you applying it the right place? Whereas the first principle approach says, if somebody figures out, okay, the entire process can be redesigned in the age of AI by putting wheels on the road and create a horse-powered chariot now. And
Yes.
then the chariot can carry better this thing. And in the age of chariots, the most required people will be the orchestrators or the Lord Krishna equivalent, right? Who can actually tell you where to go and all that stuff. So the role of leaders in the AI world will not be of a horse rider where you have to drive the stuff and get stuff done, but more of an orchestrator, vision setter, because you have systems and AI agents to do your work. Those are running your machine, but you really need to be sitting on the machine and telling the vision, guiding the direction, and that can only lead to win or lose. So that was an analogy, and I found it very, very apt, that figuring out whether to hold wheel here or put wheel on the ground is the real wisdom in today's world. And it is easier because wheel is visible. It is difficult because AI is abstract, and people who figure it, nobody has an answer to it yet, because for every organization, that place is very different where you apply AI, how do you orchestrate AI, but people who do that are the people who are also the winners.
Absolutely. And I believe as the whole world is moving towards outsourcing everything, but just outsourcing things are not going to come up to the consensus. We need to put a lot of energy to train the one who are actually using those technologies or outsource platforms. So at times I have witnessed that we are good in grabbing and managing the resources, but how to utilize those resources again has been left untouched because of lack of training, lack of support system. So I think all platforms like yours should equally contribute towards the training for the right set of skills, and even utilizing those tools which are available to make system perform better with right set of inputs, so that garbage in is garbage out. At least quality in is, if right processes are implemented, there could be a right set of outcomes. So when the whole world is talking about outcome-based things, so let us make our own processes also outcome-based, not by just educating, but implementing it into our own systems. Then only we will be able to set up right set of examples.
True that. Very valid. Totally relate to that. Even that's why, because we run an AI company, but education was always my passion. And even right now in various universities, we run FDPs, we run voluntary workshops as well, like no-cost workshops, to actually bring the faculty or bring a certain set of students onto speed with hands-on AI experience. If our people know, if our youth knows what is the power of AI, and they can build small startups to make 25K, 30K per month while they are students, I believe it leads to the upliftment of university ecosystem, student ecosystem, plus that hands-on flavor. And I guess that's where everybody of us have to come together. And very, very valid point well noted.
And I think it's not about that university. The whole ecosystem of the country is in need of this. Whatever we can do, our whole resources cannot create a system of jobs, right? Because our population is so, we are at number 1 in terms of population. हम सर्वस्व भी लगा देंगे तो हम job market create नहीं कर सकते. And we all are looking towards startups, towards entrepreneurial spirit. And if our youth is able to utilize this AI tool for creating their value added setup where they can earn, like you said, I think it will be a great support to the university, to the whole nation, because
Yes.
we are able to create solutions of our nation problem, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important part.
Yeah. So just a quick story before I move to Mr. Balraj. So when I was in IIT, of course, when we entered IIT, the first aim was to get a 50 lakh job, 1 CR job, and that's what the society teaches you about. I also was preparing, like fantasizing IIT, preparing for IIT since 11th only, but fantasizing since class 5th, class 6th. I want to be there, and then God's grace, we reached over there. First 2 years, my focus was yes, we have to get the best numbers, compete all competitive, be the rank one, stuff like that, get the best job. But next 2 years, there was an entrepreneurship club in IIT Delhi. Plus, I got a chance. I was very fortunate. Flipkart, Ola, these companies were booming up that time. So, got a chance to work with Flipkart as well, and saw those people coming back to campus giving lectures. Or third year, mein na, pura motto changed and all, and we started skipping classes. Right, I confess that. But we were building our startup. And eventually, today, God's grace, we employ close to 500 people across the globe, right?
Very nice, very inspiring.
So that's where then IIT also called me and gave me, that kind of respect and all that stuff. That yeah, right now, I guess that entrepreneurship, if I would have been working, probably I would be at a top position at a Microsoft or a Google, right? And maybe just one person employing myself, maybe earning in few crores, but how does that matter? But here it's a larger impact. All the 5 companies I run, between that we have 500 people who are fully employed with us, and a lot of other people who are contractually employed. And I guess this adds a lot of ecosystem. And when I go to universities, to the younger generation, to the people we hire, we always say that you have to, okay, go do some job, figure out a solution, figure out technology, and solve a problem. Maybe you can become an entrepreneur. Always try to add value for the next layer of people. If you do that, first of all, you are taken care of. You will become a millionaire, no problem. Secondly, you'll add value to the ecosystem. So that's always there. The shift in mindset inside the universities from the highest paying job and the largest looking brand to entrepreneurship, appreciating entrepreneurship. And I guess पिछले 3-4 साल में India में it has happened. Society has started appreciating entrepreneurship, be it government scheme, be it success of startups, be it Shark Tank and all that stuff.
Yes,
Awareness.
yes.
When I started my company, I did not tell my dad that I started my company. Right? I told him that there's a company, because our company was registered in US, based in US, who have made me the India head. Right? And then 1 year down the line, I told my dad, yeah, this is my own company. So that's a kind of stigma which is still there in the society. They're like, oh, you work so hard for IIT, you have a high-paying job, why are you leaving it? So I guess that mindset needs to be changed at a larger level. So I'll not digress much, just because your speech kind of made me remember these things, and I guess this is very, very relevant.
Yes, very relevant. And I think if most of the youngsters can have such kind of mindset, so many problems are resolved.
The nation can be solved. Yeah.
Yes. Very right. Very right.
So, Mr. Balraj, I'll move to you and understand from you that, first of all, any thoughts on all that discussion we were having?
Yes.
And secondly, one question specifically for you which is also the last question of this panel, and then we'll quickly wrap up. So, how do you think when everybody has technology, everybody has access to these things? In your opinion, how do you think universities can differentiate through their admission process and overall in their reach out? Because admission process is the first step where somebody is knowing you as a brand, as a system, as an ecosystem. So how do you think universities of tomorrow should be can differentiate? And I'll come with the same question to Dr. Prerna and Sadhana as well. But yeah, happy to hear your thoughts first, Ms. Balraj.
Thank you.
Sure.
I think Dr. Prerna and Sadhana ma'am just have shared what I was supposed to say, because from 6th standard onwards, I think we have to start counseling the students which way they want to go. And the kind of ecosystem we have at Baru Sahib, we have 130 schools wherein 70,000 students are in our reach. So there is through technology, what I have noted down a very important point. So there is a gap wherein we can fill through AI, wherein the challenge is reach, consistency, and personality. And as ma'am said, that the personal touch, the personalization at larger scale has to be done, and has to be done simultaneously with the help of AI as well as the human intervention. And apart from this, AI does the heavy lifting of outreach and human deliver the depth of guidance. So together they are unstoppable, I would say. So it cannot be whole AI or humans. So I think that there should be a mixed bag. There would be a very balanced approach, wherein the students can be started counseling through various channels. From I prefer that from 9th standard, students start becoming more mature. Starting from 6 is too early, I would say. It's my opinion. So partially, so I disagree in this. But see, I am into placements as well. So my experience into placements tells me that the students, they call us and ask for the highest package. What is the highest package in your university? And how we can get the package, and how many students have got those packages. So I think in last 15 years, the private universities, especially BTech Computer Science,
Right.
many of the higher packages were offered by the companies, and wherein that has set the tone that which university is better offering bigger packages. I think this shouldn't be the only criteria students should look at. But these days now it has become a trend. No matter you are doing BTech Mechanical Engineering, you are doing BTech, BSc Agriculture, BTech Food Technology, the first thing many of the students they ask is, what is the package? What is the highest package? I think wahan par we need to look into that. The students should look for more research. Nobody's talking about the research. See, our universities, basically we are into research more, not into placements. So we do a lot of research. We have ICAR accreditation for BSc Agriculture. That is very, very rare.
Yeah.
You only find this accreditation in some prestigious colleges and all, because ICAR accreditation is a very prestigious one. But still the students, they seek for the packages. What is the highest package in BSc Agriculture? Not the ICAR accreditation which you have. So actually, ICAR accreditation, we have got it by showing the right kind of faculty, right kind of labs, infrastructure, polyhouse, greenhouses, polyhouses, and hydroponics and stuff like that. Right. So now the biggest challenge is the counseling here is very much required from 9th standard onwards, that students should focus more on skill set, not on merely on the salary thing. And students are, see, if somebody says, if I join Chitkara University, I'll get a package of 50 lakh rupees if I complete my MBA from there. And if I join Symbiosis or maybe Jan College, any of the famous universities in India, right? So they would get a higher packages. If you join us, the package would be not more. I mean, so at our times when we have graduated I graduated in 2001. At that time, nobody was talking about the placements. We were only concentrating on the best faculty and teacher experience in pedagogy and the academics part. But things have quite changed in recent years. So even we always talk about there is a gap between academia and industry, right?
Right.
So that's true. That's we are not denying that. But the only thing is how we are bridging that gap. So there are very few universities which are trying to bridge the gap. What they are doing, because I am to placements, sometimes we have to bribe the companies to come to the campus hiring process, right? To invite the companies to the campuses. So I think that is not true education. And yes, students are only, that's what I'm saying. Students, they look for the packages, that's it. They hardly ask for your labs, the infrastructure, the teachers, the hosting facility and all. There are very few, but most of those people, they just call and what is the package of BTech Computer Science, and then they hang up. So there we need to, I think, work upon. Apart from this is a general thing I would like to say. Apart from this, if I talk about my own academies, see, what we are looking forward to is a solution where we can start contacting our students from 9th onwards. I think we have the strength of 10,000 students. So gradually we can build a relationship through a system where, we can make a system wherein the students can share what their interests are, what their hobbies are, and what they think that they want to do in future. Though it is very, very early, that even a lot of data set if we can get, and then probably we can start doing counseling through humans. And because we offer BSc honor psychology program as well, so we have good number of students with us pursuing undergraduate and postgraduate degree in psychology. Probably we can take the help of these students to start counseling. So how your system can help us in streamlining these processes through career counseling, guidance, and इसको हम scale up कर पाएं in future. Apart from this, if I talk about precisely for admissions at a Tata University, I would say that there must be two processes a solution must look for. One is the cold calling part that ma'am has rightly said. The first step, the first interaction has to be through AI. A human kind of voice is calling the students and gaining, are they interested in this university or a different program or a specific program, right? So once we have that consent, then the human intervention comes into picture, where my counselor will call the student, say that you have inquired about this particular program, what information you need from my end, right? So the first interaction, the cold calling part, can be done through automated voice calls. And once the student is interested in a particular program, then our counselors can give a call and then convert them into admissions. Second is the students who are approaching us directly through WhatsApp or through calls, and that is inbound. Inbound. So we should have a different solution for that, for outbound and more inbound, and there has to be two different solutions. So how the system can be built up. And secondly, every university has its own challenges in admissions as well as placements. So I think the product has to be customized accordingly, because I keep on receiving a lot of phone calls from many companies. Recently, there was a presentation by a company, Salesforce. So they have their own ERP system in place. So they were trying that what sort of offers they are getting, but that was not a customized one. LP में भी हमने ये दिया है जी, हमने चितकारा में भी दिया है जी, हमने वहाँ भी दिया. But my university setup is totally different, right? So actually, the product which any company is coming up with, they should be more in customization and seeing and viewing the current needs and challenges of that particular university. See, my is a girls only university. So 70% of the market से मैं वैसे ही बाहर हूँ. Boys I'm not targeting. So my challenge is a bit more difficult, and that too a residential university. We don't have buses wherein students are coming in the morning and going back in the evening at their homes. So we have a residential complex. It's a residential university. So we have different kind of challenges.
Correct.
So it has to be customized. Moreover, you have an existing product and you are trying to sell that product to us, buy this product from us, and this is how it can benefit. It has benefited LPU, it has benefited Chandigarh University, it has benefited Amity. We are not big brand. We are not aiming 10,000, 15,000 admissions. We are just concerned about our own intake. This is my 60 seats in Beta Computer Science, BSc Agriculture 66. I'm just concerned about my own number of seats.
Right.
So it has to be a customized approach. Inbound and outbound has to be with different solutions. And the third one is how we can get in touch with the 130 academies. We have good number of students. So we can start counseling from 9th standard and we can make a system from this.
Lovely. I guess for sure. So I guess Harjas can connect with you and Pranur can connect with you. Pranur is our AI guy. He can understand and customize the solution for you. So this is something which we definitely are very capable of and would love to do. And happy to hear your approach and insights. I guess that's very valid, because Rabbit, we started with this philosophy that lion will not be the new king of the jungle. Lion means one standard thing which is ruling everything. We said rabbits will be the new king of the jungle, and your rabbit and my rabbit can be different, right? Small model, whatever it's using my use case. You can't tame a lion, you can tame a rabbit, right? So, and that's where it's a system which is fully in your control. You can customize it. And even if I'll show you our platform, like maybe later on, we can connect one-on-one with you. So there you have prompting and drag and drop feature, where if even we can't customize something, you have access it night 2 a.m. you want to see some dashboard and all, you can customize it, drag and drop without coding. You can prompt it just like a chat GPT, that kind of interface where you can, by prompting, build some stuff and all. You can ask information, let's say you are out of town for 10 days and then you say what my admission team has done for the past 10 days compared to the previous 10 days. Just writing this can give you 2 comparative dashboards and stuff like that. So this is the kind of ease we are trying to build with AI. Standard platforms have been there for past 5, 7, 10 years. Our USP only comes if we apply AI at the right place, with the wheel and horse philosophy, which I was saying, the horse and chariot. So we have tried really hard. And then as Mr. Balraj, you said, and Dr. Prerna, you were also saying, I guess it should be outsourcing is not the thing. It should be partnership, right? And partnership is when we learn from you, you bring the domain expertise, we bring the tech expertise, together something is created, everybody is trained, and we are evolving it with time. Not like a vendor coming in, selling a standard solution by taking names of 5 references and then doing that. I guess AI is all about customization, owning your stuff, and the capability to do it today is very, very, earlier, I remember in 2015, 2016, it was not easy to customize the software, right? To customize the software, you have to, again, set up an entire team and all that stuff, and cost probably in double-digit lakhs or crores. But today, I guess in few thousands and few, single-digit lakhs, you can build an entire custom software. Kudos to AI for that. Kudos to, the advanced technology for that. So it has become more affordable as well. So everybody can afford their very specific system. And that builds the differentiation, right? If everybody is targeting the same way, if everybody is using same kind of script and all, and student gets calls and 5 universities are using the same pitch, so then it becomes a commodity and we lose in the longer run. So that's also very, very interesting point. So closing notes from you, Ms. Sadhna, and then I'll move to Dr. Prerna on this.
Yeah, I think I agree totally with customization, because every university is different. I mean, and imagine if you are the grade 9 student and if you 150 universities are sending you messages, and how does the child handle this? So I also agree with what Dr. Balraj said about that we start working from grade 9, connecting with students from grade 9, because at Flame, we don't even suggest that they declare their major minor. So this question of, you decide whether you want to do a BA honors or a BSc honors, or they don't even apply for that. It's very different the way we work, because we're a liberal education university. You come undeclared. If the majors that we offer are of interest to you, only then you apply to Flame. That's what we say. Otherwise, we say that, I don't think we would be the best fit for you, like is what we tell them. And the major, so the degree is just the nomenclature. So if your major decides the degree that you get, and we also strongly believe that, and I think you will agree with me, that at the tender age of why so many of us adults are not too sure where our strength lies. And how are we thinking that a child at grade 9, 10, 11 or 12 at the age of 15 to 18 is 100% sure where her strength lies, Yeah. I mean, and even after that, after taking a course, careers are changing. The world around us is changing. The way we work is changing. So we need to prepare them for not one career, but for a range of careers. And so the thing is to give them the breadth of knowledge as well as the depth of knowledge. So our philosophy is only very different. And we are talking about looking at profiles from grade 9 to grade 12. So that's what we are looking at. Yeah. So,
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's what we are talking about. And skills become so important. The 21st century skills become so important. So we need to work with students with all of this. But then I feel most schools in India, I mean, of course, there's a great need for counselors and all of that. But now the awareness about having how important a school counselor is, maybe as important as the maths teacher. That kind of awareness has come in. So maybe, this is just a suggestion that you have another market lined up, the schools say, where you could You know, I mean, if 10 of us universities contact the same student for different products, like, you know, okay, I'm offering this thing, I'm offering this, the child is confused. So whereas if you go to the school, I mean, people like you go to the school and offer some kind of counseling guidance or something like that, where like the way you're supporting a university for application and all of this, or whatever, like, you know, or, you know, generating leads, whatever. Maybe some schools may be interested in getting some help, because not all schools can afford a full-time counselor, or not all schools can afford to set up a full-time, I mean, a big counseling department.
Right. Right.
So if good technology comes in, and it can work at all levels, actually.
I guess that's a very interesting idea. I guess our team can explore that as well. And that could be the future plan. That's a very, very valid thing, because as options are becoming increasingly more, as choice possibilities are huge, confusion and chaos also increases, right? So you really need a guide, a counselor, a person who can tell you facts, and a person who can give you a mindset. I guess these things are the absolute mandate today, right? With all the digital penetration at the child level, plus the options available, plus a lot of these things, it's very, very important. Because when we look at university, our solution can be university centric, but then end student, right? How can they decide between various careers? How can they get to know themselves? I guess the entire thing lies in self-introspection, self-evaluation, identifying their strengths, weaknesses, and giving them the enough strength and resources to decide, at least for that time, that where they want to go, right? Where they want to go. And I believe that's a very, very noble cause, as well as an good cause to target for a viable thing to do. Very, very valid. Very valid.
And children can make more informed choices about universities.
Yes,
It's not about somebody pitching in and then, you know, you get a student and then we are not the best fit for the child. I mean, I think what we've done is not, we're doing some disservice in the education sector.
If
Influencing decisions.
I'm sorry, Haniji, I'm so sorry for interrupting. I have to rush for something really important. So
we're just
I'm
closing
so
in a 2-minute, maybe. Last, Dr. Prerna will. So you can stay back for 2 minutes, or you are leaving right now?
No, 2 minutes is fine. Yeah, please.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so I was just going back to Dr. Prerna. Yeah.
Thanks for the opportunity you extended today for this brainstorming, and I am very happy to meet my panelists today. At least virtually we met for the first time, and I will take forward Sadhna ma'am point. And I believe more than counseling, at least if not counseling, awareness campaigns, which we can host from class 6th onwards at some of the selected schools. That awareness at least will create the need for counseling. Once a plethora of opportunities, what are the emerging careers, how to select, what is the process, how we can carry it further. A meet with the parents, more than that of student, if can be channelized, I believe is going to make a revolutionary step towards engaging, informed. Gen Z is this, I don't know till that time which generation it is going to be, but it will be very, very productive step, I believe. So I just close with the statement that speed, simplicity, and personalization are the new pillars of admission. And every delayed response is a lost opportunity. We all understand this. So we need to catch hold of time management also. And admission is the first promise which an institution makes to set of students. So don't break it. Be generous, be ethical, and it will take us longer for supporting the upcoming nation builders and future makers. Being a teacher, I just believe in not only making promises, but keeping promises also. With this, thank you so very much once again to give us this platform and for this such a most relevant discussion we had. And in fact, from both the panelists along with you, as a moderator. It was a wonderful time. Although I just wrap up my one webinar, and from that window, I entered into this window, and I said to the team members of yours that I'll be just there for 20 minutes because I'm already tired, and I spoke continuously for 1.5 hours in my last webinar, and I was the only speaker there. So I thought I won't be able to carry forward for such a long, but it was very interesting. I loved and I learned, and I tried to share what I had in my pocket as an experience. Thank you so very much. Thanks, Sadhna ma'am. It was lovely to connect to you on this platform. Thanks, Balraj sir.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Such a pleasure meeting all
Same
of you.
here, ma'am.
And,
And let's
I
connect
agree with you
offline also sometime.
Thought-provoking.
Sure.
Or
Certainly, we'll do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Prerna.
thanks, Rabbit AI, for the
प्रेरणा मैम एंड साधना मैम, बहुत मतलब आज आपसे भी सीखने को बहुत कुछ मिला, और प्रेरणा
learn
को ऐसा
from
लग रहा
each
था कि
other.
मेरे बिहाफ पे बोल रही हैं, बिकॉज वी हैव 130 स्कूल्स ऑफ सेटअप. तो जो इन्होंने स्कूल काउंसलिंग का बोला, तो ऐसा लग रहा था मेरे सारे पॉइंट्स तो मैम ने बोल दिए. आई एम हार्डली लेफ्ट विद एनीथिंग टू से नाउ.
Actually, I do conduct so much of parent orientation in this belt, and I'm visiting so many schools for FDPs and such workshops because I'm more into training. That's my core. So I have sensed out the real problem with the students and parents. So I think they all are in need of it, right? And we have to find out some solution. So
and great minds think alike, sir. So वो problem.
हरनीत जी, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. आपने बहुत अच्छी आज हमारा कनेक्शन कराया. I mean, मुझे तो बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला. Seriously, and I hope we all are on LinkedIn. I'll send my request to.
Raj sir, आपके साथ मैं already connected हूँ. Sadhna ma'am, I think we are not.
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. We'll connect. We'll all connect. Definitely.
I will connect as well to show you the
Thank you.
build custom.
बिल्कुल हरनीत जी, we will connect again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. It was a wonderful time. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks to the team Rabbit AI.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.